I guess the easiest way to say that, Mitch, is I spent for a good 10, 12 years working in the petrochemical sector. So quality management, work health and safety, environmental, very, very important, within that particular sector. I'm very compliance driven. Even though I come from a HR background, compliance has become so important. So for me, helping organisations set up their systems so they've got that point of difference, they can improve their efficiency. There's so many different reasons why they would look to get accredited. But also it's nice to be able to sit down with some organisations and say to them, well, actually, something, maybe you don't need to go that far. Maybe we can just do something else. So it's a question of really providing organisations with a direction. And I think for me, again, it's all about helping people, helping organisations. I've had probably half a dozen NDIS organisations now that have decided they want to be 9001 accredited. I've had probably the same number of aged care organisations as well. Usually for me, it's let's find out about the organisation. Where did they start? Let's have a look at your business plan, assuming it exists, so that we can then get an idea of where they want to go. Once I've done that, I'll usually go out for a site visit. I've got a manufacturing company who's doing all three, so 9001, 45 and 14, out in WA, basically in the middle of nowhere. So I have to go out there, have a look at what they do, how they operate, get a really good feel for what's happening within the organisation. And of course you want to ask the key question, why? Why do you want? I get 9001 with most companies, but then it's, well, why do you want to do the other two? And then it's a question, so, okay, these are some of the key things that we're going to be looking for in terms of evidence. Do you have them? And then it's really a question of saying to your client, look, don't be embarrassed if the answer's no. You just need to tell me what you've got, what you haven't got, and that way we know what we can build up. Okay, so once we've actually either been out to site or we've had meetings through Teams or Zoom or whatever, my first step from there is to do a draft of the manual. Now, in some cases, I've had organisations use the policies and processes that are in SafeWrite. In some cases, I've had people say, look, I've looked at it and gone, yep, the SafeWrite one's great for manufacturing, that type of thing. I move into NDIS side of things and I've got to rejig it, which is fine, that's not a big issue. But once I've done that, I'll then get them to go through and review and say, well, does that reflect what you actually do? Once we've done that, is then a question of, all right, stage one is nothing but a document review. However, is there a business plan there? Are there position descriptions? How's all the HR documentation for your employees? All of that sort of stuff we still need to have ready for stage one. So I do find the majority of my clients, it's business plan. No, don't have one of those. So we usually find that has to be done. That again, SafeWrite, we've got a brilliant tool to develop a business plan. Nice, quick, short, sharp and easy. And then it's really a question of what other systems they have in place from a HR perspective, from a work health and safety perspective. So if we can do a bit of a value add, that's always there as well. Well, funny you should mention it. I've just recently gone through ISO 9001 accreditation myself. I make a point of using the SafeWrite tools. For me, easy to keep my policies and processes, easy to keep all the registers that I need, all the company information. So I can just basically go to the auditor on the day of stage one, here you go, here's your username and password, go have a look. And I've done that with several clients now, and the auditor's feedback has been nothing but positive. They find documents are easy to find. Information is easy to find. They like the registers. They really love the feature where you can enter your risks and then develop swims from that. They love that idea. Yeah, so makes it easy to turn around to my clients and say, great, okay, well, this is what I recommend you use. It's also ISO 27001 compliant, so there is a big tick from that point of view for them as well. So. Yeah. It's funny you should mention that, because I got a phone call from a client this morning. Paul, hey, we got our accreditation 3 or 4 months ago, but we don't really think that we're following what we should be. So there is that opportunity to help them actually with the implementation phase. Then you'll get, some of them will say, oh, we're not really sure that we're understanding what we should be doing with SafeWrite. Can you either spend some time with us online, or when you're out here next, can you show us? They're quite happy to attend the training, which is run. But I think sometimes they'd like someone to be sitting over their shoulder, sort of showing them, well, this is where you go, this is what you do. And once you start to show them that, it's great. But I think it's ongoing training. There's another opportunity there, just in terms of, well, what does this ISO 9001 mean? What should we be doing different? Yeah. Absolutely. May this year, I had a client refer to me. They needed ISO 9001 for government and defence tenders and so forth. We turned that accreditation around in 6 weeks. Not the recommended time frame. They usually like to go about 60, a good, 180 days is what they like to do. No, we used Mouse for that particular client because there was nothing in place. There were a few Excel registers and that was it. So to actually take them from, okay, there's nothing in place. And what I loved about them, they were so open. They just turned around and said, no, well, look, just assume we've got nothing. And we basically built the entire system from scratch. The directors were so happy with that outcome. Now we've got 2 more standards to do, potentially 3 if they choose to do 27001. Because it gives me the opportunity, if they're saying, I think I've done something wrong, I can usually log in. It's an easy fix to sort it. And that helps build the relationship between consultant and client. And realistically, any decent consultant knows it's all about building relationships.